Hello and blessings, my beautiful souls. My name is Avalon Cameron and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to go over some of my, well, wait, March. Time is just passing super fast right now. I'm going to go through my March favorites, monthly favorites. Yes, everything that I worked with in March that I loved working with, all of that kind of good fun stuff. I love doing favorites videos, and since it's only the start of April, I thought it would be really fun for us to do a March favorites video. Witchy, tarot, you know how the vibe goes. Let's get stuck into it. Okay, so the few herbs that I have enjoyed working with the month of March are chamomile. I was able to get chamomile from Gould's Apothecary here in Taz. And I typically love to work with chamomile, and I have been working with chamomile more this year than I have ever worked with chamomile before. Now, one of the things that I have loved to do with chamomile in the month of March and also in the month of February is to make, got a little bit of lipstick there, is to make dream pillows, to stuff my dream pillows with chamomile. I've also made things like this. I'm sure you can remember this from my previous video. And this is a herbal bath. And you can see chamomile is prominent in that herbal bath. See? So I have really enjoyed working with chamomile. It has a very bright sun energy. It is absolutely fantastic at bringing in prosperity. It's really good for money, but it's also good for brightening things up. I take into consideration that sun energy and I use it to brighten. It also has a very light protective quality to it and a very calming and soothing quality, which I felt like I really needed in the month of March because my nerves took a bit of a hit in March. I was having some really intense dreams. Also, I have worked with hops. Now, hops is it's such a lovely and very nostalgic, to me at least, botanical. It has been used exclusively in dream pillows for me personally. Now, I'm tempted to add a little pinch of it to an incense that I am currently conceiving at this very moment in time, intellectually speaking. It's in my brain. Oh, I'm going to add this. I'm going to do that. So I'm thinking that I might end up making something like that. But hops has been a firm reminder to bring a sense of calm. Now, usually I gravitate towards lavender for that, but I just wanted to work with hops. I just felt like working with hops, so much so that I went to Gould's specifically to get hops, and they didn't have anything pre-packaged like that. I'd run out of chamomile completely because I'd been using it so much. And so they mixed me up this little batch here, so it doesn't have a label, but I got it from the same pharmacy. And so yeah, they've been the botanicals. Alright, so we're at Oracle decks. I have made really good headway with the Green Witch's Oracle. I know exactly how I like to use it now, and I like to use it on its own, believe it or not. It is such a pretty, pretty deck, and it's a great reminder to connect with the energy of plants and botanicals, full stop. I happen to lean into Sherilyn Darcy and her wonderful knowledge on plants quite a bit because she's an avid gardener, and so I trust her opinion on plants, and it's got me very much into the idea of gardening and preparing my garden, which is something that I have been procrastinating on for the longest time, but this is my year. This is my year of gardening. My stomach is grumbling, can you hear it? This is a relatively new one for me. This is the Astral Realms Crystal Oracle. And I've had oh, that's beautiful, isn't it? I have had so much fun with this deck. It has been really on point. There's the backing of it. But oh, look at that beautiful rose gold gilding. Oh, I love it. It's absolutely fantastic. But it's got a really soft, pretty, feminine vibe to it. And I've enjoyed using it in picker cards, and I've also enjoyed using it as contemplation. I've enjoyed using them as like, alright, I'll shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. I'll give you a demo here. It's nothing hectic, mind you. Okay, what crystal do I need to work with at the moment? What energy do I need to work with in the form of healing? So I gear it towards healing. And here we go, we've got the root chakra. Hematite, Culmination. That's a great card to get for grounding and centering and for ensuring that, you know, I'm feeling secure in my position in the world. So I really enjoyed working with the Astral Realms. It's a relatively new deck. It's Australian and it's by Rockpool, which I happen to love and support these days. So very beautiful. Actually, they were both from Rockpool. Both of these are from Rockpool. Rockpool is actually putting out some really great decks at the moment. Oh my god, they're all three from Rockpool. This is the Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacy Demarco. Now, I originally didn't love this one. I remember pulling it out. It came in a box. It's in one of the boxes that I received. And I looked at it and I'm just like, nah, that's actually not my cup of tea. Well, I feel like I have to swallow my words because it has proved to be a phenomenal deck for personal development, for, you know, tapping into the message of my spirit guides. Just, it has been a really, really good deck for that reason. And I've even started to somewhat appreciate the artwork. It's not that the artwork is not attractive to me. I'm very particular and I don't like Photoshoppy type of work, and this is a bit that way. But I've managed to try and like step around my criticisms and really enjoy working with this deck. It's great for those who are more cosmic in their practice and who are tuned to the energies of the moon. It has things like the waxing crescent nourishment. So you could really plan some of your rituals and your personal magics in accordance with some of the cards that appear here, and connecting with those lunar, you know, aspects a little bit more. So they are the Oracle decks that I have been loving. For oils and hydrosols and sprays, which I'll categorize together, I've been working with this. We'll start off with this spray. This is Bridget's Flame. And as you can see, I have gone through it. This has such a delicious, desserty kind of cinnamon smell to it. And I have just been spraying it through my entire home. Even though this feels a lot more like an Emulk spray, I do love the aroma and just the energy that it releases in my space. So this has been used inside my home. My kids absolutely love this, which I think is really beautiful. Then I have been working with Venus, this beautiful Venus oil. Let me get you in focus. This one here is by Earthly Alchemy. I'm working with an Aphrodite one up in my top cottage as well, so similar vibes. We're working with, or we've just finished our work with Aphrodite through Coven, and I have been using a lot of this, sparingly mind you, because it was like filled. But I've been doing a lot of dabbing and a lot of sniffing as well. And lastly, this is a pure essential oil and it is frankincense. Let me get you in focus as well, frankincense. And I have been adding frankincense to a lot more of my mixes and also my dream pillows. So frankincense has been going in with hops and chamomile and lavender and rose in my dream pillows, and I have loved working with frankincense. It is so sacred to me, frankincense, whether in resin form, powdered form, or essential oil form. It does the same thing to me. It just does, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Next, I want to talk to you about books. The first book that I'm going to show you is Naturally Inspired. And this one here is Simple DIY Recipes for Body Care and Cleaning. Now, I'm super into making my own sorts of things around the house. So I make my own toothpaste, I make my own cleaning sprays and cleansing sprays and you know, like cleaning products as much as I possibly can. But I was finding myself a little bit exhausted and I wanted some new ideas. And so I decided that I'd get this. I bought it from Big W. So for all of you Aussie witches watching, this one was just in Big W. And I looked at it and I put it back, and I looked at it and I put it back, and I looked at it and then I put it back. And then my sister she was with me at the time. She's like, you keep going back to it. Why don't you just get it? And I'm like, I don't want to get it if I'm not going to use it. And I need to make sure that if I do use it, I make stuff with it. So already I've made quite a few bits and pieces from it. And the next one that I'm excited to make, wait for it. Well, one is a jelly jar, which is the fragrance jelly jar. The other one, I bet you I won't be able to find it now that I'm looking for it. But it's these little, oh, here we go. Cleaning fizzies. I really want to make these cleaning fizzies. So they're the next two on my list of things to make. So I'm very, very excited about that. Now, as far as my fiction reads, I had a very slow reading month actually, and I did read, let me think. As far as fiction novels go, I laughed my ass off at Get a Life, Chloe Brown. This is a adult romance, bit steamy on the major side of things, but it focuses itself on Chloe Brown, and the series itself, this is written by Talia Hibbert, focuses on 3 sisters, I believe, and there might be a 4th book, but I'm not well versed on it. Basically, I read 2 out of the 4 books that are available, and I didn't love the second one, but I loved the first one because this is honestly the only book in my life that I can remember that made me laugh out loud multiple times. There's a sarcastic, quirky comedy to this. I half read it, half listened to it on Audible, on audiobooks I should say, and it was hilarious. Chloe is, well, she struggles with a bit of a disability. She has fibromyalgia and she's in constant chronic pain. She also has an interesting relationship with the super in her particular building. Now, the idea behind this book is that Chloe has what is described as a near-death experience and then decides that she needs to get a life. So she creates this list for herself full of things that she wants to do. Ride a motorcycle, do something naughty, go camping, etc. And so she is in the throes of trying to do just that and, you know, go into the list with some kind of honor and tenacity. But at the same time, she is struggling with this illness that she has, so it's got disability rep in here, and she gets really tired, she gets really fatigued, and, you know, she's also got a little emotional stuff going on, whereby she lost her fiance because of this fibromyalgia, she lost her friends because of this fibromyalgia, and as such, she lives a really insular life, supported a lot by her family, her sisters, her Gigi, which is her grandmother, but the personalities in this story are fantastic. The characters are really just that, like they're real characters that you can get behind, and her relationship with Red, who is the super, who is an artist, who has his own shit going on, those two together are hilarious. There's a lot of banter in this. I love that kind of flirtatious, kind of teasing, kind of sexy sort of banter, and there's a lot of it, and it's really sarcastic, and I laughed so much. If you've read this book, oh my god, when she goes up the tree to try and rescue that cat, the inner monologue of the cat made me fall out of my bed laughing. Another book that I read that I'm a little bit on the fence about mentioning actually, because I do believe it is the very cause that I found myself in somewhat of a reading slump. I still read maybe 5 books in March, which is not a lot, but it's still reading. But I read the entire Ember in the Ashes series between February and March. I had to think about it there, and it was an epic story that was so disturbing. Like, I'm a very sensitive person, and that rocked my world in not the best way. It was a very well written story. It would have been a fantastic adult fantasy had it not been for the characters. Now, the characters were still lovely, but they are what made it young adult. And there was just this villain, Karis, in this story that was so abhorrent. Just so extra. And I was just praying that she suffered, and I didn't like what it brought out in me, put it that way. I was praying them like, you are an evil, malicious, just evil person. you need to die a horrible death. And I don't like it when a book brings that out in me. Having said that, it was an emotional reaction, so it did entice a fair bit of emotional reaction out of me. But the entire series was very, very good, but not for the faint of heart. And I would say that if I had known what this was about, I probably would not have read it. There's a lot of, you know, subjects like genocide touched on, and oppression and slavery, and just real world genuine issues that turn my stomach, and it really put me in a stressful mindset when I read it, and I don't like books like that. Having said that, it was still a good read. So they were my reads for March, okay? Very controversial, but this one here, legit, so funny. Humor is of course something that is subjective. That's a little bit of my humor right there. Not all of it, but most of it, yes. And I like to laugh, so anything that makes me laugh is a favorite for me. Right, the last thing that I am going to mention is jewelry, because I always like to mention a piece of jewelry that I have been working with, and I've basically not taken this bad boy off. It's the orb. It is the orb from the Witch's Bounty. It is my go-to at the moment. I wear it damn near every day. I'm wearing it today. I wore it yesterday. I wore it the day before. I mean, I wear it every day. Let's just say that that's what I do. And I love it. What more can I say? All right, my beautiful souls. Well, that was all of my favorites. The ones that really sort of like stood out to me in the month of March. I'd love to hear what your favorites were in the month of March, and let's see where we can go with it. In the meantime, I will chat to you again soon, okay? Much love to you and many blessings. Mwah. Bye.